The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo. It's a free game you can play anywhere, and it's on the site jsgames.com. I will post the link in the description so you have access to play it. The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo, I consider it a horror, strategy, and choose-your-own-adventure type of game. And with this review, I'm not going to say anything. Like, I'm not going to go very in-depth about the story. I don't want to give you any details about strategies you can come up with, because I was shown this game today, and my impressions of it when I first started playing it were different from the final impressions that I got. And I knew absolutely nothing about this game when going in. The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo it's a very unique game. I don't really play online games like these. No, this is the first one that I've played, because I am a wimp when it comes to horror games. But my friend Jake, you guys might know him from the channel. My friend Jake, he totally recommended this to me. He asked if I had ever heard of it. He said that he never played it. He had watched videos on YouTube of people actually playing it, like famous YouTubers doing gameplay of it, but he himself had never experienced it. But he said that the best way to play it is to go into it without any knowledge of it. And I did, and I had an absolutely breathtaking experience. It's a horror game, yes, and for those of you who are really hesitant to play it, I was too, but be warned, it's not a horror game like you think it is. It's a more of a horror game at its core, and as you go on, you become enthralled. You become captivated by the atmosphere that this world has created. It's a game that evolves the more you give it a chance. And it's not a game filled with jump scares. It ain't no Five Nights at Freddy's, it ain't Alien Isolation, but it is a horror game at its core, because it delves into your mind. It uses the fear of the unknown, the traditional horror way, and I absolutely appreciate that. Because I seriously, when I first started playing it, I thought it was going to be generic. I didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into, but it got me hooked. My friend had to go home because he slept over the night before, but when he was showing me this, I started playing it. I was talking with him while I was playing it, but also paying attention. And then when I got the first ending that I got, I wanted to play again. I was just like, wait a minute, there are multiple endings? Because I've never played games like this before. And everything that I did, it was all a part of one big picture. This game is brilliantly coded. The game is brilliantly written, and it's a horror game, but it's so surprising. It really is. And I know I'm sounding very vague when I talk about it, but I went into this game not knowing anything about it, and I want you guys to do the same. If you're watching this video and you have seen videos on the Uncle That Works for Nintendo, then this video isn't for you. I'm sorry. You've already ruined the experience for you with, because I don't know how popular this thing is. I'd never heard of it before. I don't know if it's really popular, so if it wasn't your doing, you wanted to support a friend who had played it on YouTube, I understand that. But with this video, I want to tell you guys about this game because it deserves to be talked about. It really is a unique type of experience. I've never played a game like this before until now. And I really want, I really am amazed by it. And I'm not exaggerating it at all. Because I was playing this for hours straight. I got all of the endings. I worked as hard as I can. This game is not easy, you guys. It takes you a while to really figure it out, but if you read closely, pay attention to every single detail, things won't make sense until you start thinking out of the box. And once you get so immersed into the world, you start knowing when things are going to happen, and you start trying different things. And the game gives you hints on the endings you can get, but they're all vague hints, and to make you want to try and experiment what you can do, because it's not all told out to you. It's all a game that you have to figure out yourself. Don't use a guide. I did this all myself. I was messaging Jake throughout the entire time playing this. I would get really angry. I wanted to solve this. I wanted to learn the story. Or I would get really into it. I was like, oh my god, I just did this. I don't know how I did it, but I want to go back, try it again, and maybe change a few steps and see if I can get another ending. And, you know, he was really happy because he already knew all the endings, but he saw how much I was getting invested into it. Like, when I started out, I was like, yeah, this game's all right, but I didn't stop playing it. I really wanted to complete it. And I don't really complete games very often. And this is a horror game. Like, the first time I played it, judging by how much of a wimp I am, I should have stepped away immediately because I was really unsettled. I was shaking. I had to take out my headphones. I played this with headphones because it said that's the way you should play it. But there aren't any jump scares. It's a horror game. It makes you feel unsettled. The fear of the unknown. It wraps that feeling around you all the time. No, actually, yeah. It wraps that feeling around you the first time, but when you want to figure it out, it starts turning into a strategy game. And you want to figure out how this story all wraps together because it's not fed to you. The first ending you're going to get is going to not satisfy you, but it's going to scare you, and you don't know whether or not you want to continue. I don't know what else to say. I really want you guys to try this game. I thought it was a beautifully crafted game, and it's for free. You don't have to pay for this game. Ow, my arm hurts. I record this shit on my phone. I was holding it in my arm, but I didn't mean to break the review like that. My arm hurts. But look how much I am talking about this game, and I'm trying my absolute best to not give you any spoilers. It's because I want you to have your own experience. I don't know anybody else's experiences from it, but now that I finished it, I do want to go see that. But I'm not going to tell you guys my experience or like the way I saw the game. I want you guys to see that for yourself. Go into it completely blind. The link will be in the description. Give this game a shot. It really deserves it. And the author had a lot of love put into this, and he, like, I really appreciate it. It's a work of art. It's also a very entertaining story, and I just thought it was very exciting to finally play a new type of game, because I'm always iffy when it comes to horror. I'm like such a wimp. I love scary movies, but when it comes to games, they're putting me in the eyes of the scariness, and it's different. It's a very different feel, but I had to be strong because I really wanted to see the end of it, and I actually completed it. I recommend you guys doing so too. You guys got to see everything this game has to offer in order for you to actually have an opinion on it. It's one of those types of games where you have to see everything. Okay, this has gone on long enough. This has been my review of The Uncle That Works for Nintendo. It's actually still on my computer over there. I have it on the site. I couldn't exit it out. I have all of the screens, like all the endings unlocked, and you even get a completion bonus for all you completionists out there, but I'm not going to say what the hell it is. You guys got to complete it for yourself. I did my absolute best to be a spoiler-free review, even though I wanted to talk about this story immensely. But if you guys do want to hear my opinions on the story and what I specifically thought about it, then you can give that a comment. And if you are new here and you haven't played The Uncle That Works for Nintendo, The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo. It's a long title. I'm trying my best to remember it. That's why I kind of stop every time I have to say it. But if you haven't heard anything about it, it's new to you, like I'm bringing this up to you and you've never heard of it before, click that link, give it a shot. I really want you to, like, give it that blind shot, because I did, and I don't regret it at all. This has been RT Online. Thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you have a good time. That was a bad wink.